Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of SV Cruiser. Today I'm going to be switching out to HID headlights. The LED that I have in my truck, I've gone through 4 sets of LED lights, and all 4 of them have let me down. They always fail on me, and I don't know why. I got the right resistors, I got everything that's been properly given to me that's matched up to this truck. They just all fail. I can't have that, so I'm tired of dealing with it. I got HID lights here, got the wiring kit, the 2 35 watt ballasts for this. I got that packet on eBay a few days ago, and it finally came in today. So a small change also. I gave the truck some attitude with angry eyes. What I used was a stuff called Plasti Dip. I used this stuff on these headlights here to give the attitude of the angry eyes on here. It's a rubberized paint that you can put on surfaces. You can repaint your whole vehicle if you want to, or in my case, headlight lenses to give it some attitude. Yeah, looks pretty decent. It's not permanent, so if I want to, I can just peel up this corner over here, just peel it and peel it off like a band-aid. But I'll do another video on Plasti Dip later on. Basically, you mask it off the design that you want, and then after you spray it on there, just before it's dry, you take the masking tape off carefully, and you can make a fine line to whatever you want on here, or you just spray your whole vehicle however you wish. So that's how that stuff works. And you can find this Plasti Dip at Walmart for like $5.86 or so, about $6 for a can. And I didn't even use the whole can on the headlights, and I still got a lot left. So that's Plasti Dip for you. But back to the actual headlights themselves. Let's go ahead and get these things changed out, because I'm sick and tired of having LEDs that keep failing on me. In this application, I'll be using the 35 watt output ballast for the HID headlights. Alright, first step, remove the old crap. All the connections, both this one and this one. Unplug the actual light itself from the light casing, and then remove these resistors. Remember that these things get really freaking hot, so try to work on this whenever they were off and they're not hot at all. I burned the crap out of myself and it hurt, so make sure they're nice and cool whenever you disconnect them. Just food for thought. And it also helps to remove the lights and the resistors from both sides of the truck, left and right. If you just change out one of them, well, you're kind of defeating the purpose. Now, before I get started with the installation of my new HIDs, just don't think for a second that I didn't give LED every shot I could possibly give it. I've already tried 4 different types, and they all let me down. And for every vehicle I've ever had, HID, I've never had a single problem with them. So again, before I get started, I mean, if LED works for you, then more power to you. If HID is more of your liking, have at it. They're both good lights. They're both bright, but HID just never has let me down. LED, sorry guys, never works for me. Whenever you're mounting things, always make sure that whenever you mount stuff, it's kind of out of the way. In this case, this relay is actually going to be just out of the way, which is pretty good. And then also, you want to make sure you have a good ground. So I chose the side of the chassis closest to the actual headlight itself, and I moved the fuse block off to the side and sanded under here. And I've got, bare metal showing. So I'm going to put the actual ground on this part so that I have a good ground, and then I'll tap into here for a solid positive power. So that should be a good start for me. Then after that, it's all plug and play. The difference between HID and LED is the LED lights plug straight into your car's factory wiring harness and no added hardware. In the HID, they just have a little bit of extra hardware, but it's nothing to be scared of. HID, they require a ballast, and it has two connections that come out of it. One of them goes to the wiring harness, which I'll show you here in a sec. It's on the other side of the truck, and you have the other part that connects into the light bulb itself. The connections, you cannot get them screwed up. They're opposing connections. One faces one way, one faces the other, and they're color coded, one black, one red. So it's kind of a no-brainer. It's really simple to install, plug and play. Now this is the wiring harness controller that came with the actual kit that I bought for the HIDs. Now there's two types of ballasts that they use. This is a 12-volt harness or 12-volt system for both 35 watt and 55 watt ballasts. So I can use this wiring harness controller for either ballast, but in this case, or in this application, they supplied me with 35 watt ballasts. And with your wiring harness controller, you want to make sure that you have a good steady ground, which I have here, plugged into the side, or fixed to the side, and I have a steady power that came right off of my fuse block. So advice from personal experience about the ballast: do not let these things bounce around. Make sure you have them fixed in a place where it's fairly cushioned and not subjected to a lot of vibration or violent vibration, because if it does, these things go out pretty quick. Okay, well, after about an hour and a half to 2 hours of tinkering, I ran into a small ground issue, which this light didn't turn on, but the other one did, so I swapped it just to double check to make sure the bulbs were good. Both bulbs were good, both ballasts were good. It's just I had a poor ground. I tried to actually tap in right here from underneath, and it didn't give me a good ground, so I went from above and sanded it. So now I have a good ground. Ground is always important whenever you put in HIDs or any lights on anything. If you don't have a good ground, you're not going to get light. These are absolutely awesome. I mean, they're really, really bright. So much brighter than my LED ones. I still have to take my ballast, which is right back here. I got to take that and probably zip tie it up here to this wire loom here. I don't know if you're able to see, but that's the light installation. That's your light right now. These are what they call bi-xenon or some shit like that. It allows me to have both highs and low beam, but come on, that's low beam. I don't need high beam. And besides, I plan on putting in off-road LED lights here for the fog lights. I'm also going to install a 42-inch curved light bar on the front. So I'm not going to give a squat about the high beam part. So it is a wiry mess down here, but I mean, it's kind of late. I'll fiddle with it tomorrow and kind of tuck it all the way and clean that up. But for the most part, I mean, as long as you have a good ground, a good power, and make sure your bulbs are good, you're going to have excellent light, especially with these. These are 6K. K stands for Kelvin. It's a light spectrum I chose for this particular light. It is stupendous. Extremely bright. I love it. Man, look at that. I will fix all this damage here. I got hit some time back, and I plan on changing all this and fixing it. But let me kill that light, and that'll be a wrap.